Hello, and welcome to Comic Station for July 9th, 2014, where it's our 80th episode! As we mentioned last week, Paul is away on vacation, which means the video duties are up to me this time. But it also means that I can't shoot any stuff because Paul's the one with the video camera, so that's why we're doing it in this format. With that out of the way, let's get started. No indie books this week, as I already reviewed the interesting ones, leaving only the two boring leftovers. So let's look at Spider-Man 2099. I really like this comic. I've never been a huge fan of the Peter Parker Spider-Man, so I love the Superior book, and this is a lot like it. Granted, Miguel O'Hara isn't the same sort of character as Dr. Octopus, but he's still his own unique Spider-Man, and he's different from Peter Parker. He's less whiny, less annoying, and he more goes with the flow in a way that I like. And though he does tell jokes, they're not as annoying or obnoxious as Peter Parker can be. The story is good and it revolves around Alchemax. I should state that if you haven't read any 2099 books before now, or haven't read the books that he appeared in Superior Spider-Man, you'll be fine. Everything's explained through exposition and the like. There's a lot of action, a lot of well-written comedy, and it's overall a very good first issue. I recommend it. Jumping from the good hand straight to the bad hand, we have Spider-Man Marvel 100th Anniversary Oneshot. You'd think being a one-shot would be a self-contained story or a celebration of stories, but no, it's actually part 8 of an 8-part series conclusion. Hooray. It has to do with Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, creating some sort of techno-venom suit to give him control over all the city's technology. What that really means, though, is he can make things explode for no reason and control things that are actually analog, not digital. It's stupid. So yeah, the plot is very, very weak. Fat Venom, yes, Kingpin puts on the suit and he becomes Fat Venom in this book, is really unintimidating. And the entire plot just feels like a waste of Kingpin. It reminds me a lot of those dumb things that DC does where Darkseid just stomps into a scene and tries to fight people with his bare hands. It's not the character. He's better off as a shadowy plotter from behind the scenes, not this big stomping monster to hulk around the scene. It just didn't work for me. And the fact that you have to have read 7 previous issues to get it doesn't help at all. Moving from Marvel over to DC, but no less troubled, we have Suicide Squad. Oh, I'm sorry, the new Suicide Squad, #1, which is weirdly self-aware. The basic plot revolves around this jerky executive ad man who's obsessed with marketing and publicity, bringing in new characters to try to make the team cooler and more intimidating and hip with the young folk and edgy, which I'm not sure if that's meant as a slam against the New 52, or even the idea of a new Suicide Squad book, but it's still not very good. For some reason, the executive ad guy is played by Vic Sage, which is weird because he's the Question, but I guess the Question now is morphed into history's greatest monster, alongside the Phantom Stranger becoming Judas, so damn if I know. Anyway, the book isn't that good. You bring in the new characters of the Joker's daughter and Deathstroke, who are about as overused as you can get without bringing in Deadpool, whose own comic this week was weird and not very good. And it doesn't really gel into a cohesive whole, it just sort of flounders about. There's a very good ending reveal, I think, of some newly designed old characters we haven't seen in the New 52 yet, but overall I'd avoid this one. And then finally there's Grayson #1. Y'all remember when I reviewed the final issue of Nightwing a while back on this show, right? You remember that, right? Well, anyway, this issue sucks. Yeah, that issue wasn't very good, neither is this one. Grayson is joining up with the secret organization Spiral, because we needed another secret organization in the DC universe, who does stuff? They're not very well developed as far as these things go. They came out of Grant Morrison's Batman Incorporated, and like a lot of Grant Morrison things, those ideas are best left to him. There's some decent twist on it, with the idea of Spiral having weird hypnotech, but it's not exactly well executed or well explained, and Spiral comes off really like a jerk for a lot of it. I understand they're meant to be the villains, but what they do just seems to be villainous for the sake of villainy. It sort of reminds me, it's like, you half expect the next mission to be Grayson to kidnap orphans to be turned into atomic waste to be dumped in the Grand Canyon back in time. They're sort of just cartoonishly evil, and annoyingly so, because they keep drawing in other characters. Like, for some reason, Huntress is now part of Spiral. The same way that Spiral treats its agents really badly. Like, there's a lot of insulting and shouting and just, like I said, all around just being a jerk to everyone, which I don't like, and has become a big fad in comics now. It's like we can't have a comic anymore unless there's an angry stick-in-the-mud character to annoy everyone else, especially the audience. Now, I get that you have to have conflict for these books to work. I'm just not sure we need as much interpersonal conflict as people keep shoving down our throats. Also, Midnighter's in this issue. He's completely wasted. That's it for this one, and for me. Hopefully next week Paul will be back, and I'll have more stuff to talk about. See you then!